Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. It appears moviegoers cannot get enough of the movie Black Panther. The film has shattered several box office records in North America, earning $242 million in just the first 4 days. The Marvel blockbuster is the first major studio superhero film to feature a predominantly black cast.
The world is changing. Soon, there will only be the conquered and the conquerors.
Step into the spotlight.
You are a good man. And it's hard for a good man to be a king.
Joining me now to talk about the movie is comics artist Arvell Jones, known for his work at Marvel Comics and DC Comics, along with G. Walker Teon, a comics artist and publisher of Generate Comics. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So I was saying before the show started, even Arvell, this for you has just got to be mind-blowing to have worked on this story and these characters for such a long time, and then to see them on the big screen. Talk about what that's like.
Oh man, it's amazing. Actually, you know, for the longest time I was the geeky kid on the block for the most part, and did everything I could do to be cool for the most part. But at the same time, you know, the people in the neighborhood say, we know what you do. You're one of those comic book
You're
readers.
drawing and reading comics,
yeah,
right?
Reading comics and everything. My dad was encouraging, but most of the neighborhood was like, you know, what are you really going to do for the rest of your life? I said, I'm going to do this. He said, you're going to be a starving artist?
Yeah, right. So talk about the work that you've done and how it's sort of brushed up against the Black Panther story over your career.
Well, you know, we had a little community here in Detroit back in the day, because you could find comic books at what was called sweet shops back in the day. And you kept running into people that enjoyed comics. And so one of the people that I met was a guy named Richard Buckler. And Richard and a group of us, about 15 of us, you know, formed a little group and decided we're going to get into the business. And we're going to, hell or high water, we were going to go ahead and do this. And Rich was the first one, and one of the first books he worked on was Jungle Action featuring the Black Panther. And the moment he got in, he called me up and he said, man, this book is hard. I need you to come up and help me.
And help me with it.
Yeah, so, you know, I went up for the summer and worked with him all summer long on that book. And the following year, worked on the Fantastic Four with him. And we just had a great time working on it.
Yeah. Talk about the story of Black Panther and sort of how it relates to the cultural narrative. Now, I think it's really interesting that this movie appears in the middle of now, right? Things that we're talking about and thinking about in America.
Well, you know, the movie was. I shouldn't say the movie, but the comic book was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby back in 1965, 66 or something like that. And the idea was you had this African king who was leading this nation that was hidden from the world, you know, never been conquered. And they were allowed to grow at their own pace, and they got ahead of everybody.
Right.
They didn't have to worry about war. They didn't have to worry about, you know, all of that. And they were focused totally on, you know, just growing and developing the civilization, you know, and being the best they could be. You know, and you know, that was an amazing idea. And now to see it in the theater, you know, it's like amazing to
think
see
about
it,
what that says to young people.
So
Walker, he's one of your mentors, right? And you are the next generation of comic authors and publishers here.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I've been working with Arvell since the 80s and so on, and he mentored me from when I was younger, and brought me into the industry. And then I went on to create my own comic book company called Generate Comics, and we've been working together ever since.
Yeah, talk about what Generate Comics is and some of the some of the books you guys have in the line.
Okay, well, we have a book called Oed Rain. Oed stands for Of African Descent, and it's a sci-fi story, you know, about a cat from the future who comes back to the present day with some unusual news about our people. And so we follow his adventure into that. Then we have another book called The Unsub Garden, which is a group of, you know, a diverse group of young people who are learning the ropes in, you know, detective work and you know, and just uncovering, you know, unusual events and so on. You know, and then we have a new teen book that just come out called Urban Welfare, which is based here in Detroit. And we're showing a group of superpowered individuals, you know, addressing and dealing with some of the, you know, injustices that are happening today.
Sure, sure. I would say, without knowing for sure, but that with a good hunch that these stories are progeny of Black Panther, right? That the stories like Black Panther are the sort of inspiration for the work that you're doing now.
Yeah. Well, you know, Black Panther, when I was coming up, you know, the Black Panther and Luke Cage was all there was.
That's all there was, right?
And we would just, you know, we glammed onto that stuff, you know, with our lives, you know, back then. And so it's a beautiful thing to watch what's happening to the Black community and the, you know, the Black African community all over the world. You know, you know, this is affecting everybody that's, you know, that's of African descent and so on, who can appreciate seeing these images and these, you know, themes for the first time.
Right. Do you feel like it's easier now to get a Black story told in comics or in Hollywood?
It has gotten easier,
Yeah.
and you know, there's been certain limitations that's been put in Hollywood. You know, the fact that they were saying it's not going to translate to the foreign market for the most part.
Right.
And
that was a big concern with Black Panther, right?
Very big concern with investors, and so you know, for the last few years, you know, I've been involved with organizations or companies that are trying to put some Black product, you know, out there for, you know, for the major consumer. Because right now, comics alone, you know, don't really reach our community whatsoever. There's only one comic store in the city of Detroit.
I mean, that was going to be my next question is, what's the future of comics and comic books and comic stories in urban environments like Detroit where kids don't get access to it the way they used to?
You know, I'm hoping that because of the Black Panther and movies like that, that the awareness and the demand is going to happen again, because we've been out of the loop for some time, and unless you can get in a car and go somewhere in the suburbs, you know, drive 20 to 25 miles, and you know where to look, you know, you're not going to see it. So that's been an issue, but you know, fortunately, people like Teon and some other publishers are, you know, putting together books these days, and they're just finding ways to market them online, and try to get them to, you know.
What do you see? I mean, I would imagine that you're pretty close with some young people who are interested in this. What do you see with African Americans sort of feeling like this is a field that's for them and having access to it?
Well, you know, I think this movie is going to do a lot to inspire, you know, the young people's imaginations, and it's going to get them excited about it, you know, and they're going to start to reach out, and we have several ways, you know, for them to contact people, you know, like I'm involved with a group called Detroit Tradecraft, who basically put artists together, you know, like if you're a writer and you need an artist, or an artist and you need a writer, just in our community and so on. And we also teach, you know, kids who are interested and, you know, in the arts and the comic arts especially and stuff like that. So I believe that this movie is going to, you know, have that kind of galvanizing effect and push, you know, the interest and the comic arts, you know, forward in a big way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you both for being here, and I'm sure you're enjoying the movie being out in theaters.
Oh yeah, you know, very much